Hello
making a
everyone,
regional
and
map
welcome
for a
back to the
Pokemon
Croneo
game in the
region,
Croneo
my
region.
based on Scotland.
Let's see
with
where
a
everything in the
picture
world
Canada.
is.
And yes, this is the map. This is what the region that I've been talking about for about a year and a half looks like.
Looks pretty dang
Mostly
good, I
looks like
gotta
Scotland.
say.
It's largely because Croneo
How
is,
dare you
for
make
all
the
intents
Scotland
and
region
purposes,
look like Scotland?
as a Pokemon region. But as a lot of impatient
cool
and
place on it,
stick in
too.
the mud commenters keep pointing out, we had the Crown Tundra. You know, as if a few Pokemon and a bit of snow is enough to represent my country.
Boom,
Well,
all of
does
Scotland.
admittedly represent
As we
to
know, folks,
some.
Unova is
So
based
I
off of
thought,
New
what
York,
would
therefore
work to
it is
justify
all of
Scotland
America.
region that isn't
No,
on the
not
Isles
even
of
close.
Galar region. And then it hit me. Nova Scotia in Canada
Got parts
is
of America, but it's
essentially
not all of
New
America.
Scotland. So I came up with the idea that Croneo is a region settled by travelers coming from the Crown Tundra, which they have called the New Crown Tundra, or
Neo Crown Tundra,
which
or
I combined
Croneo.
to form the name Croneo. But yeah, this is essentially Scotland properly. Maybe in the
I'm fine
future
with
I
that.
could do a dedicated Canada region. That could bring back the Canadian.
I know
lore
Gen
made for
10
Croneo's
got
Day.
announced.
But
I don't know what
anyways,
that region's
now that I've
based
addressed
off
the
of yet.
important backstory, let's see
Pokemon
what elements
are-
of Scotland I decided
Pokemon.
to adapt into this map. But not before
Meh.
giving thanks to the artist that I commissioned for the map.
It's not
Fertilia
bad,
Dex
it's just Game
on
Freak's out of
Instagram.
ideas.
I think they did
But that's
an
not
amazing
bad
job,
inherently.
as you will see. I also wanted to thank my friend Elium, the self-proclaimed.
I
Disco
can't
Goblin,
see that image
as they
right during
helped
that
me name
frickin'
most of the
Christmas
towns
tune
and
with
other
the
areas
girl
in
screaming top of her
Croneo.
lungs,
Not all, but quite a
which
few.
is probably the
They
point.
also helped me with a number of dex entries you can see on my Instagram. Let's start where the player would start and finish their journey. Gosfort. I just felt like having a city that was the start of your journey and the end of your journey felt nice and circular.
I think
as a lot
so,
of the
too.
Pokemon leagues are actually relatively close to
I mean,
where
that's-
you start out, so I just
Yeah, that
decided
is a
to
pretty
merge
neat
them
thing to do.
together.
The league's
In the spirit
pretty
of
close
that,
to home.
It is based on both Glasgow and Edinburgh, which is due to me not being able to decide which city should house the league.
So they're gonna be
I
both.
decided both. Many of the buildings are based on some from both cities. Most notably, Professor Barclay's lab is based on Glasgow Cathedral,
Oh, like a
and
chapel,
the Pokemon
yeah.
League's tower is based on the Scottish Parliament buildings in Edinburgh.
Mm.
The name of this town comes from distorting Glasgow, as well as Edinburgh's name being rumoured to
Hence
mean
Gosfort.
Edwin's Fort. As you head north to start your journey,
Route
you
1.
have the choice of entering the
Look at all this
Fluorescent
Pokemon.
Forest,
Yee.
inspired by the Glimwood Tangle, as well as
That was a
similar
memorable
enchanted
place in
forests
Gen
other
8.
Pokemon
9.
regions.
Gen
The
9.
Fluorescent Forest
Wait, no,
exists
it was
to
Gen 8.
house
It was
the
Gen
more
8.
mystical
Blech.
Pokemon found in the region. The eastern portion, which is the portion you'd enter at the start,
It was so memorable, I forgot which
houses
gen it
early
was
game
in, but I
Pokemon.
remember it.
It is your standard forest area. As
Yeah,
for
it's
your
forest and
other early
Pokemon.
route
You've
areas,
seen one, you've seen them
Gosford
all.
also leads out to Gosfortshire. Along the way, there is a bridge based on the fourth bridge that leads into Edinburgh.
That's a
although
cool
this
looking
one
bridge.
is much smaller. You can even
I think
find
it's also a
daycare
train
here,
bridge
where you can
exclusively,
collect
but,
a
you know,
regional
Pokemon.
variant of a Kanto starter if you want one. You can also find
I
the
would.
Aberlaki lakefront, as well as its lake. Alongside
I would
many
hope you would find a
coastlines,
lake at a
where
lake.
you can find many early water-type Pokemon.
Yee.
Maybe even a Tatsol or two. Think
That'd
of
be nice.
Gosfortshire
I like the,
as
Blitzel.
all of the early routes you could think of, smushed into one big open
Hey, makes
area.
catching Pokemon a lot
According to the
easier and
British
getting
Library,
us, like,
a
filling up the
shire
text
is
a lot
a division of
faster.
land governed by a sheriff, whose name derives from Shire. So Gosfortshire is the Shire of Gosfort. One
Well,
of the many
okay then.
places you could venture to from Gosfortshire is the Zeninsula, where you'd eventually encounter the box art
Find that inner
legendary
zen.
Pokemon. It is an array of crystal pillars made of time energy, similar to the crystals on Pritorate, Mebicordian, and Orpithegel. These
Bye.
pillars are meant to represent
Everyone just
the
pissed
Kalanei
off.
standing stones in the Isle of Lewis. The name is essentially a fusion of Zen and Peninsula, as I was originally going to call it the Zen Peninsula, since it is a peninsula, and the adjective Zen means a state of calm, which is what the crystals in the Zeninsula is meant to
Oh,
give
nice.
people.
Keeping everyone
Moving
nice and
anti-clockwise,
calm.
we
That's
also
good.
see the town of Bayhaven. I've always found coastal towns
Haven by the Bay.
as that's where I've mainly grown up. So
I
Bayhaven
mean,
is meant to
in
be
Gen
that
5, there's
feeling
that place by the
translated
water
into
that's
a
in, like, a
Pokemon
lot of
game.
video
The gym
essays.
is based on Donotar
Was it,
Castle.
like,
And
Occupied
yes,
City or
all of
something
the
like
gyms
that?
will be
Meh.
castles. Some of them are based on real castles, some of them have
Nice and
some more
peaceful,
creative liberties to their design. Said gym is also where the fire gym leader, Charlotte, is battled.
Oh,
The
sweet.
beach next to Bayhaven is called the Silver Sands.
Oh,
based on
ironic, you
places
put the
in
fire type
Scotland
gym leader
that
by
are
the
known
beach.
as Silver Sands. woods, which I decided to make more literal here. In this location there's also a cave, to nab some early game cave Pokemon, as well as some others which evolve into Pokemon new to Croneo.
Sounds
The
cool to
name
me.
comes from Bay, as it is near the sea,
Duh.
and Haven, a place of safety. It's also named after Stonehaven, where Donotter Castle is located.
Cool.
Moving on up is Bloomborough. It's also not based on anywhere specific. It's where Croneo's farming community lives.
Hey, you gotta have that
Since
farm
Scotland
area.
has a strong
And like, just
farm
like how
economy,
they have
with
food.
3/4
This is how.
of Scotland's land serving the purposes of agriculture, according to Nature Scott. It's also meant to be the de facto rural town of the region.
That was
The
a
gym
fun
is
part
based
of
on
Gen 8, just going
Balmoral
around and
Castle,
seeing the
as I
entire
felt like it
cities
looked
and
like a good
in
inspiration
certain
for a grass
pathways
type
and
gym.
stuff.
And
It kind
it
of
has
felt like going
historical
around an
significance,
actual
as
city.
not only did the late
For the most
Elizabeth
part, anyway.
II of the United
It was
Kingdom and
neat.
its territories like spending time here, it was also her chosen place to pass on. Scotland is
You know,
part of the
we
UK
poo-poo
itself,
on Gen 8 a
and
lot,
she
but
chose
it
to
had
die here,
some good
so
points,
that's the
too.
connection. You fight the grass gym leader, Fig, here. The name
Like
comes
they're already
from
holding a
bloom,
berry.
which is what plants do, and borough, which is a suffix that a lot of Scottish towns have. North of that is Aberlachy, which is based on the city of Aberdeen, the third largest in Scotland. Its name comes from Aberdeen and a corruption of the word lake. Also, for
Very
the record,
big
if ever I'm making
corruption.
a portmanteau of a real place name and some other word, I'm taking into account the etymology of the place name, so that the place that it inspires has a similar etymology to it as well.
Fair
to make
enough.
it a bit more immersive, Aberdeen is known as the Granite City. It is characterized by having buildings so grey that the Tetris movie filmed there to double as Soviet Russia. Some buildings are like the local government building, Marshall College, which I have decided
I didn't
to
know
adapt
that.
into
That's
a
hilarious.
Gym castle.
I
And
thought it
even
was New
included
York that was
fountain
that
in front of Marshall
stereotype.
College.
Nope.
Pike can be faced here. This will also
You're
be
so
where
great, you're
Croneo's
Soviet
fishing
Russia.
community
God
live, due to
damn.
it being the home of the water gym, as well as the fact
Oh,
that
that's
the
just
surrounding
funny.
area in Scotland, known as Aberdeenshire, has a lot of fishers. Unfortunately, the northeast of Scotland is also known for big business in the oil and gas sector.
Yeah.
Nature Scott reporting Scotland as the biggest oil producer in Europe, with 196,000 people working in the industry. Oil and gas companies basically think their ridiculous profits are more important than people's comforts and especially the literal survival of the world.
Well,
The
you
North
don't
Sea
have
is a
those
popular
comforts
area
if it wasn't
oil
for
refining.
those sorts
Also,
of
oil spills
products.
are bad.
However,
They pollute
yes, you are
the
correct that the
local
world
ocean
is not
and
less
wildlife
important
within it,
than
damaging
having a
ecosystems,
microwave.
even though the oil didn't burn up into our atmosphere.
No,
So
and there's a
the
lot of oil
abandoned rig
spills
is
and
here
whatnot.
to remind us that the oil industry is bad.
Yes,
It's
it is very
also an
bad. So how are
option.
you going to fix it?
Moving on north, the Isle of Snow has its landmass based on the Isle of Skye in Scotland. Except I moved it to the east of the map as I felt like having a tundra setting here made sense to get a bunch of ice types, which would fit at this point in the game. You may have spotted a cave here in the Isle of Snow. Don't get too excited, but it is a location that houses the Icy Rock, where you could evolve Eevee into Glaceon if you so
Yee.
wish. The Ice Stone will still work. There's also a
The
town here
alternative,
called New Freezington,
variety.
since the original settlers who came to what is now known as Croneo came from the Crown Tundra. I just felt like referencing the only town in the so-called Scotland area. It has a castle based on the cool library building at the University of
very
Aberdeen.
nice looking
It
building.
would be
It's
home
very
to the
nice.
ice gym, but in this league
It looks like a
cycle,
giant
ice was left
block
out.
of ice.
The islands nearby are known as the Luring Islands, named after Chandelure, due to the fact
Okay, I like that, and they're all
one has a
dancing in
lighthouse,
its own
which
like
Croneo
that.
Chandelure is based on.
Nice.
When you get back to land again, it will be in the town of Azamori.
And it was a giant
Azamori
rainbow
is the
connection.
town where Ant or Lily is the gym leader. All of the
One will get
colourful
far more
buildings
fan
are
art than the
based on
other.
Scottish
You
children's
decide
show
who.
Balamori, which even had a character
Based on a
Archie,
TV show.
who lived
Nice.
in a pink castle. The show was mostly filmed in a real Scottish town called Tobermory, in the Isle of Mull, while the castle was filmed in East Lothian. These colourful houses felt perfect.
It is funny
to
like how in
reference
British
Pride,
shows
with
they
the
make up a
castle
lot
now
of
sporting
fictional
blue and
places
white,
that
as
live
well
in
to
England.
reference the
Meanwhile,
traditional
America would
flag,
just put
due
it
to
like
the
everything in a
region
real
having
place.
A lot of LGBT+ rep,
It's like
including
interesting
the
how that
Jews
works out.
of this very town who are trans. As
Neat.
you could guess, Azamori is named after Balamori. The last 5 letters fit the theme of love and acceptance. But the as bit both refers to azure, which is a colour which makes sense in a town with colourful houses, but also they are the first and last letters of the alphabet, due to LGBT plus having an assortment of letters within its name, and any letter from A to Z or A to Z, whatever, is a valid way to feel. Once you're done here, you can head on over onto the Brigomori, which is a bridge. Both of the big bridges in Croneo are referred to as Brig O something. It just felt right. It is named such due to being near Azamori. It is based on the Glenfinnan Viaduct.
You turned it into a waterway?
Which has appeared in those wizard movies. It had to appear due to its iconography.
Well,
another iconic Scottish landmark is the Falkirk Wheel, which the Briggo New, named due to its proximity to the town of Alderney in Croneo,
that's like a giant cork
it
popper.
works both as a water route and an area which felt like it made sense to house the magnetic field.
Works for me, if it fits.
And Magneton into Vikavolt and Magnezone, respectively. The
it looks cool either way, so I wouldn't complain.
To change your level of elevation, much like the real-life Falkirk Wheel.
Really? I didn't know about that, so that's cool.
Specific. It exists to show Croneo's themes of past and future, by combining old-timey aesthetics with modern ones, even with having a gym castle that fuses those aesthetics. Anastasia or Maxwell can be fought here. There is one connection to Scotland here,
That's
which
just a
is
shame.
an adaptation of a statue called the Kelpies. Since
I've
they
seen
depicted
pictures of those. That's
Smith,
pretty nice,
I
cool.
decided to make
Nice
these
and cool.
statues light up with neon light to continue the town's theme of old and new.
Hey, it works.
I also swapped out the Kelpies for a Cronian Substriker based on Kelpies itself, and Doomsdale based on the Knuckleavy.
Hey, it
which is a
works for me.
Scottish demon.
It works
Another
out in the
area
end.
is called the Northlands, evidently named after and based on the Highlands. Since the Scottish Highlands is iconic in itself, the northern area is based on it. It is an open area similar to that of Gosfortshire. The Highlands are famous for their hills and mountains, so I just let the landscape speak for itself. The Moss Rock can be found here. Speaking of mountains, Ben Cairn is the stand-in for Ben Nevis.
Hey,
Scotland's
more mountains. We're surprised in the Pokemon region.
The Cairngorm Gemstone.
It still bothered me in Gen 7 when they had a mountain, when they had a frozen mountain. It's Hawaii! You're at the equator! There are no mountains at the equator! What the frig? This is almost as baloney as the Himalayan mountains in Black Panther. It's like there are no icy...
The town is just called... Because I thought...
I know it's fiction, but it's still one of those things where it's just like,
a mountain. Just imagine, buildings inside caves. How cool is that? The gems at the bottom of the outside are actually the gym castle poking out, also acting as the exit. The gemstones are the same colour as the Cairngorm gemstone. Jasper is the gym leader here. Also, you get a good view of Lochprass at the top and at the bottom.
Neat.
Speaking of Lochprass, I have
you put Lochprass all by himself.
Which over the course of the project I
or herself, whatever themselves. I don't give a shit.
On
Itself.
This would be the largest area to find aquatic Pokemon, as well as where you take your paddock to evolve into Nescade. As the name may suggest, you can also encounter a shiny Lapras here, both to reference the shiny Gyarados in Johto, as well as Nessie.
That was brought up earlier, so it's nice to see it come back.
Nescade, due to the Nescade line appearing on Pike's team.
Yeah, I'm gonna see it a bit more in the actual game, so meh.
This isn't just because Scotland has
I got one by now,
but because a lot of Croneo's new Pokemon fit being encountered here. These ruins are only called the Westwake Ruins, due to being in the west and on the coast. If you collect all of the stray wisps you can encounter on your journey, because yes, you can do that, you'll be able to encounter and obtain an Ooh in Westwake Ruins. The island nearby is also called Westwake Island. Moving on south,
nice, probably get some more Pokemon there, some
which
special
is based
Pokemon.
On St. Andrews, a town in Scotland that houses a university which inspired the gym where you face Sunny, but also where his
headphones are in. We're doomed.
Originated in the real world. That hobby is Scotland's national sport, golf. Its odd name essentially means champion town, while also beginning with X, since the St Andrew's Cross
is
the
X.
one depicted on the Scottish flag, and what partially
so that's where it's
inspired
from.
the Expo
Neat.
line, which also begins with an X. So I decided
it all
to
works
make
out in the end.
There is also a bridge leading
Also, didn't know
towards
that golf
the
was the
Fluorescent
sport of
Forest,
Scotland.
based on the
Learn something
iconic
every day.
Swanton Bridge in St Andrews Links Golf Course. Speaking of the Fluorescent Forest, let's get back to it. The western
Where were
part of
we?
the Fluorescent Forest houses stronger Pokemon.
Very strong Pokemon by the looks of it.
Including some Fairy-type Pokemon, to deal with the upcoming Dark Gym Leader. Although, your playthrough could have had Brook already be fired, but luckily, either way, there are still some counters for Flying-type Pokemon in here as well. Originally, the Fluorescent Forest was going to be 2 forests, with this west one being the mystical one. But since both felt like they could work as a mystical forest, and they were close together due to one being near the start of the adventure and one being near the end, and the start and the end of the adventure being the same place, it made sense to fuse them. The final town I'll be covering is the town where you'd be facing your 8th gym battle. Dunport, which is based on Dundee, the 4th largest city in Scotland.
Nice.
Also known as Scotland's sunniest city. We don't get much sun, I think this might be a joke. Its name is a combination of Dundee.
No, it's the most sun. You get 7% sun there. That's higher than everywhere else.
Victorian Albert Dundee, also known as V&A Dundee.
You're by England, you're not expecting a lot of sun, are you?
I just
you know the stereotypes.
Looked cool from the outside.
It does look cool from the outside.
Also a monument similar to Dundee's War Memorial. It leads you to a road that takes you to Gosford, where you would then face the lead.
Home sweet home.
This road, Victory Road.
I know,
very creative on my part. And that's
reminds you, there is a video someone put out where just like the de-evolution of Victory Road or something like that.
One-to-one with their
it's a neat little video.
Basis. I mean,
Check
Spain doesn't have a crater in the middle of it, unless if you're being really unflattering about Madrid. If you enjoyed the video, why not leave a like and subscribe? Comment down below what your
go check out
town
Dr.
is,
Eevee's channel in the
Instagram
description
and
below.
Discord
Link
in
to
the
channel in the description.
If you want to go the extra
I think I
mile
just
and
said
support
repeated
the
myself
channel,
basically.
why not join my Patreon?
But yeah, if you
and
want to
become
support
a
it, go
member
check it out
today.
there and more
This is
stuff
completely
from
optional,
there.
But please consider it if you are able to.
It is
With
always
that
cool to see a
said,
map of
see you next
Pokemon
time.
region. Sometimes the
Cheerio.
map can be more interesting than, well, maybe not more interesting, but it can say a lot about a region. And there's something that's been getting better with Pokemon games, is slowly getting better. Because you look at, like, Kanto's map, basic. I mean, it's the first game, so we can give it some leeway, but it's like... I had a minor conversation behind the scenes where just like, if Kanto came out today, like, let's just pretend Gen 10 was Kanto, it would not hold up to scrutiny. Just no. There's a lot of nostalgia bias and grandfather clause, and there are so many things giving Kanto an edge. But if it came out today, it would not fucking fly. Also, I think someone came up with like a video, made a video where just like we have serious Kanto fatigue because Kanto has been referenced in every single freaking game except the original Unova. And you would be like, well, what about Black 2 and White 2? Nope, there were Kanto Pokemon there. The original Unova is the only one where there's no Kanto whatsoever. Which is probably part of the reason why people like Gen 5 so much, or at least a part of the equation, because they got a freaking break from Kanto. But yeah. It gets a pass on a lot of things. Grandfather clause, without there's no Pokemon, yada yada yada. Doesn't make it a good region. Automatically. But, yeah, it is something that's been improving with time, because like after that, Johto's map was pretty damn good. Hoenn, so on and so forth. The maps get more intricate and have more stuff, and I do like the fact that all these fan regions just give them more and more things to do and stuff going on than some of the mainline Pokemon games, to be fair, and even more some of the more recent ones, but eh. I did like Alola was basically 4 maps. That was pretty cool to give them all a bit of variety and let them do their own things, but also feeling like pretty small and congested, but not too small. It's neat. I did like that. I just can probably go around the entire map in like 5 minutes, but that's only if you're trying. Well, okay, no, not 5 minutes. There's too many random encounters. 20 minutes, let's say. But it just felt like that's an appropriate amount of time to do everything. And I did like all the little areas where all the Pokemon would be, and all the learning about all the cultures and stuff, and the mixes of buildings and the portmanteaus of names, and all the, well, the history of, actual Scotland, basically. Especially learning that golf was their national sport. Just like, okay, that's neat. I didn't expect golf to be it for Scotland, but I also don't know what I thought it was going to be. Like freaking bagpipe playing? That's a little too stereotypical. But, yeah. I do also like the little Pokemonification of some of the things, like when you turn the two horse heads into the, the horse Pokemon, basically, just combine the two and just make it more Pokemon-like. I do like when the Pokemon games do that, where it's just taking the thing that already exists and giving it the Pokemon spin, I guess. I don't know. Am I making sense or am I rambling? I'm probably just rambling at this point, but yeah. Overall, very solid episode by Dr. Eevee, where he put a lot of thought and care into this sort of thing. And, even wanted to have some fictional thing with that Gay Town, I don't know. I forgot the actual name, but you know what I mean by the Everyone But Straight Club. But yeah, that's pretty much sums up the whole thing. It's a very nice region I would like to explore in a Pokemon game if I played modern Pokemon games, but hypothetically speaking. But anyway, yeah, that's the end of this episode, so I don't have much else to say other than thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Check out Dr. Eevee's channel, link to the channel description below. See y'all next time. Later.